Welcome. Okay, so today I'm gonna show you how I went about making my GoPro into a sort of GoPro DSLR mimic type sort of thing. So anyway, here we are with the most ridiculous camera setup you've ever seen in your life. So it's a GoPro Hero 5 that has sort of reached the end of its usable life for me, having a damaged gyro or accelerometer or something, and I replaced the back screen at some point with one that I just got off, I don't know, eBay or something. So taking the lens off, we can have a look what I've done here. I've just got a lens adapter and I've just fastened that to a 3D printed part that goes between the GoPro and the lens. There's some moldable plastic, thermoplastic at the back there that holds the two parts together, and it's sort of wrapped around the lens housing on the GoPro, so it's on there pretty stable, and there's three little screws go in to hold it in there. It's quite solid. So I'm just going to take off the lens adapter here and show you what's happening underneath. So there's just the three screws that are screwed into the thermoplastic through the 3D printed part. So when you have a look here, you can see the printed part there. There's also a bit of cardboard at the end, or a little bit of black paper that just gets a bit closer to the sensor to stop any light leakage around it. So the 3D printed parts basically like three cylinders: a little one, a medium one, and a large one. And there's a little screw holding it onto the housing, and it just pops straight out like that. And that's the only bit really, and you just need to fix that onto your camera somehow. I mean, it looks kind of simple if that were the end of it, but that's not really, because we're just getting an obscene amount of cropping from that tiny little diameter of the cylinder that goes up to the sensor. So we could make that cylinder a bit wider, but the only problem that I had is that at the end of this cylinder is a little infrared filter. I'll try and focus in on it a bit for you. So there's the infrared filter, and they're not the easiest things to find. So they're a pain in the ass to get out of the original lens, and that would just be the same size as the one that I've got on here. And this one was taken off an old camera I'll show you now. So this is my old run cam. It's an awesome little camera, but the bit of sticky stuff on the back there seemed to rip up one of the little chips or something, so it's no good to me now. Maybe I can fix it, but either way, at the back of these lenses is an IR filter. They're a pain in the ass to get off because they're glued on. They're pretty tight, but you can get it off, and that's what you need. Otherwise everything's going to look really weird through your camera. So really, the diameter of that tube, if you can find a nice sized IR filter, that'd be great. Otherwise you're going to get a lot of cropping. I mean, it's really good for macro stuff, but that's probably about it. There's not going to be any cropping on the sensor itself. It's just going to be cropped on the lens, so you're still going to get the whole view with no vignetting. It's just going to be a bit more of a macro view through the lens. There's also a preferred distance that your lens needs to be from the sensor, so the best way to do it really is to put the lens on the GoPro and turn the GoPro on, look through the back of it, and move the lens forward and backward a little bit until it's in focus at minimum and at maximum focus. If it's too far forward, you might find it's only focusing on things that are close up and not things that are far away, and vice versa. So I'm using Canon mount lenses here. Your mount would really depend on what lenses you're using, but because these are digital lenses, the f-stop's going to be set at its lowest, so you'll have to manually change the f-stop on your digital camera, and then take the lens off when it's set in place, to change the f-stop anyway. Otherwise everything's going to just have a super short depth of field. So for those who don't know how to remove the GoPro outer protective lens, you can use your fingers and probably do it if you've got nice strong fingers, or you can just use something like this. Give it a little twist and it'll come off nice and easily. Okay, the hard part is actually getting this next lens out. It's not glued in there, but it does have a rubber seal that sort of holds it quite tight with tension. So if your lens is already scratched or damaged, you can just have at it and get some pliers and you'll just twist it out. Otherwise, some needle nose pliers with a bit of grip, you might be able to get behind it and twist it out, which is what I did. So here's a bit of footage from the GoPro using the Sigma macro lens. I'm really happy with how it came out. I can't really see much vignetting or sort of blurriness. It's nice and sharp. There's a lot of colour. This is an unprocessed bit of video. It was originally taken in 2.7K, but I've shrunk it down to 1080p because I'm using my digital SLR, and that's for this video anyway, and that's its maximum resolution. Thanks for watching. I'm sure that many people could do a better job and not have such a crappy looking GoPro, but hopefully it comes in handy for some people and they enjoyed the video. Cheers guys.